Good day. What we're going to do today is we're going to get video 1 established. We're going to set up a 2-point perspective drawing. Just wanted you guys to see this, wanted you guys to kind of go through this to see the difference. Okay, 2-point perspective. So instead of being in the middle of the hallway, being in the middle of the street, being in the middle of the room, looking down with one vanishing point, now we're going to be kind of standing at the corner of the building, and instead of having front and side, we have left side, right side. So still one horizon line, one ground, one sky, but with one vanishing point, 1-point perspective, 2-point perspective, 2 vanishing points. Okay? So that's something we're going to see. Instead of having a vanishing point in the middle, we're going to kind of have one on left side and right side. So you're going to notice your paper is a little bit different in size. It's still 12 inches wide, but instead of being 9 inches tall, it's 8.5. Okay? But we're still going to go up 4.5. I like 4.5. Let's just go up 4.5 for a horizon line. So I'm going to measure up 4.5. You guys know I like to measure twice, then draw one good line. Alright, so like I told you guys, instead of, now remember, you can pause and pause as much as you want, rewind as many times as you need, but I'm just going to roll through this, so you'll probably have to pause a lot. Remember, 2 vanishing points for 2-point perspective, so I'm going to have 2 vanishing points. Essentially, I'm going to go in an inch either way, so I'm going to make my left one's going to be at 1. My right one is going to be at 11. Now I'm going to go ahead and make a notch at number 6 in the middle because that's where I'm going to start my building. Okay, we're going to start with a straight up and down line and draw, and kind of you're going to see, like I said, the corner of these buildings. All right. So 1 and 11. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the 4.5 so we don't have a bunch of numbers on here. All right. So I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to turn it going up and down, and I'm going to put it right next to that notch that I put at 6 on my horizon line. Now I'm going to draw a line, and I'm just going to give you the measurement that it starts at and the measurement that it ends at. And if you want to measure it, then grab your trusty triangle. That's probably what I'm going to do. So my line's going to start at 2.5, and I'm going to draw it all the way up, and it's going to end at 7.5. Okay. The line is actually 5 inches long, but we're going to start it at 2.5 on your ruler, and it's going to end at 7.5. So if you want to just do it with your ruler, that's fine. If you want to measure it, then grab your triangle. That's also fine. Okay? So like I said, we're going to start with the corner of a building. So it's going to kind of look like a couple arrows when we get this thing set up to start with. So I'm going to take the bottom of that line where I made my little dot for 2.5, and I'm going to send it to those vanishing points. I'm going to draw it all the way. Okay, so it's going to look like a big, long, wide arrow pointing down. I'm going to do that at the top, but I'm actually going to measure them. And we're just going to make these lines, we're going to line them and send them to both vanishing points. And I'm going to keep those lines at 3. Okay? Maybe a smidge longer there. Okay, so I should have a long arrow pointing down, a short arrow pointing up. Okay? I'm just going to, where these 2 lines in, I'm going to send them straight down. This is going to be our sidewalk. It's going to be the bottom of our buildings. So there's your corner of your building. It's going down. It's the left side and the side. Don't think we're going to need this horizon line going through our building, so I'm just going to get rid of it now. Remember, keeping good habits, erasing lines we don't need as we go. Okay. Go ahead and get rid of these measurements too also. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to go ahead and build our sidewalk. It's going to kind of wrap around. We'll add in a couple buildings, call it a day. So this one that I circled earlier, the bottom corner of my buildings, I'm going to measure down. I'm going to make 2 dots. I'm going to measure down at 1 and make a dot. Then I'm going to go another 1/4 of an inch and make a dot. So 2 dots. I'm measuring straight down at an inch. I'm going to put a dot. And 1/4. 1, 2, 3, 4 notches on my ruler. So this dot was at 1, this dot was at 1 and 1/4. That all came from this bottom corner right here. So what do we do with dots? Well, we play the game connect the dots. So send them to both vanishing points. off a little bit. All right, so now we've got a sidewalk kind of wrapping around the building. It's got a left side and a right side. So, you know, anything with it, and you guys know there's going to be exception to every rule, but pretty much from here on out, if anything that's on the left side of the building, go on the left vanishing point, right side of the building, right. Okay, so we're going to come over here, establish another building. They're all going to be set up the same. So we'll have to start with an up and down line, build your one side, then build the other. Okay, so I'm going to start here, to the right of my building. We'll measure that way about a ½ inch, and then just make a little notch on my horizon line. Now remember, our next line is going to be this, our corner of our building, straight up and down. But remember, when I measure, I've got to measure from my sidewalk. The sidewalk's the bottom of our building. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line that's going to go straight up from the sidewalk, 1.5 inches. So from there to there, that's 1.5 inches. I'm going to measure it. Grab my triangle, make sure I've got a nice straight up and down line, put the line in. So that line right here, this was 1.5 inches. Okay? Now that I've got that, I'm going to go ahead and erase. So now we've got to establish a right side and a left side. Well, the right side's easy. And we've got to hook up our top and our bottom to our, or I'm sorry, the left side. We're going to go left side first. Okay? Left side's easy. I'm going to hook the top of that line to my left vanishing point. I'm just going to draw it into this building. Boom. Do the same thing for the bottom, so I don't have to do any measuring. Vanishing point, left side of the building. Right side of the building is going to go this way. Well, the bottom of it's already going to the vanishing point. Sidewalk line. Let's hook the top of it to the right vanishing point. Let's draw that about 1 inch. And wherever that line ends, let's send one straight down to our sidewalk. So now we have a right and a left. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that horizon line. Okay, so let's come over here. Let's go to the left side. I'm going to go left from this line. I'm going to go left 1/2 inch, kind of like we did over here. I'm going to make a little notch on my horizon line. Okay, this one's going to be a little bit taller building. Okay, so I did go over 1/2 inch. Remember, we're going to measure from our sidewalk. So I'm going to go right through that little notch. I want to make this line 3 inches tall. So this line's, even though the building's farther away, we're going to make it a little taller. Sometimes you got to break the rules. This is one of the rules we're going to break. You'll see some more rules get broken when we do the sidewalk. So that line was 3 inches from here to here. Okay. Let's do our left side first. Left bottom's already going to the left vanishing point sidewalk, so we're going to use the top. I'm going to go about 1.5. I'm afraid it's going to go right through that. About 1.5. If you want to go 1, that's fine. 1.5. I probably wouldn't go as far as 2. I think that may look a little silly. So I went about 1.5 for that one right there. Where that line stops, send one straight down to your sidewalk. Right side's easy. We're going to hook it up to this vanishing point and draw till we hit the side of the building. Now this one, pay attention here. I don't want to draw this one all the way down and connect. I want to just kind of stop it, make it look like a short building. So when I send this one to the right vanishing point, I'm going to draw that line about 1 inch and hit it down. Now if your measurements got off with mine, that inch may take you all the way into the building. I'm going to go 1 inch and then see from there, I'm going to send the line that goes down. So I'm going to have a short side, but now if yours takes you all the way in, that's fine. If you just want to back it off a little bit, and then just make it work. Sometimes we got to do that. Okay? Sometimes in art you just got to make it work. All right, so now we're kind of standing at the corner, looking down the left side, looking down the right side. All right, I gave you guys a minute there. You still may have to pause and rewind. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, maybe set up the basics of doors and windows. Tomorrow we'll kind of maybe do some awnings, offset door, stuff like that, but we're just going to get the basics. So we'll start with our main building here. I'll start with the left side. I think I'm going to go a door and then a couple windows. So if you guys can remember, and I'm trying to dig out drawings as we speak here, but if you guys remember, things are supposed to get smaller as they get away from us. Okay, so instead of going straight down, now you got left and right. So things that go farther left on the left side are going to get farther away. So if I've got, you know, two windows here, the one on the right is probably going to be bigger, probably a little bit wider, and the one on the left is going to be just a little bit smaller, just to get that feel that it's a little bit farther away. Okay, so I've told you guys before, if you want to measure, that's fine. We're getting to the point where I don't think we need to measure a whole lot. So what I'm going to do is we're going to work left side, so that means left vanishing point. And I'm going to kind of line my triangle up. I'm just going to rotate above my horizon line a little bit, staying connected. Now you guys know, think about what you know here. If you draw the top of your door up here, that's going to make your door look like it's 15 foot tall. Okay, so let's say this is just a one-story building. Okay, so you know, I would think that would be probably pretty good. That would be too short. You know, I'd say right through there. Okay, so I'm coming from my left vanishing point. Look where my pencil's pointed, right here. And I'm going to do just kind of dash lines like we did for those locker drawings. So maybe this is my door, and I'm going to have two windows. So this one will be a little bit, door's biggest. Notice how this line's a little bit wider than that line. Okay. Let's send some lines straight down to our sidewall. See my door. Now the top of your door and tops of your windows should be slanted down. Remember, they went here. Okay. My windows. You know, your windows can be as tall or short as you want them to be. If you want them to go all the way to the ground, draw them all the way to the ground. But the bottom of them will come from, you guessed it, the vanishing point. I didn't do any measuring. We just said, hey, that's how tall our windows are going to be. All right, I may have got that window a teensy bit crooked. Okay. So the door's the biggest. As we get farther away, they get a little bit skinnier. So on this side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of maybe make a big window, like a shop window. Maybe that's what we'll have items in. Kind of like think about some of the places on the square. Think about maybe Bicey Music when you pass it, how there's always drum kits and guitars and whatnot in the window. So take a look at where my pencil's pointed. Top right corner. So you know this would be the same as, you know, how you do the things when we're doing the other city street, how I do front, then use the windows from the front to establish the side. And sometimes the same thing. Let's take that corner and line it up with a vanishing point, so that way this window is the same height as the door. Okay, so I just took that corner, lined it with my right vanishing point, use that to draw my line for the top of my window. The bottom of your window, put it somewhere below your horizon. It's a pretty good size window. We're going to have some merchandise in there for sale. Maybe it's a GameStop, maybe it's a shoe outlet, whatever. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing but on a smaller scale up here, maybe for a sign. Okay, so the top and the bottom are coming from the vanishing point. I'll make it a little shorter than my sign. Now, I want you to take a look at this right here. I'm going to treat this sign like I treated that flat screen TV on our living room drawing. That line here, I'm going to add an extra line there and kind of connect it so that sign feels like, you know, maybe it's at least the thickness of a piece of wood. You know, a lot of times these signs are plastic and they've got lights in them. That parallel line, those two are parallel. All right, we'll leave you there. If you get this far, tomorrow when we come in, I'll help you guys establish these two buildings. We'll get sidewalk and we'll get some other things and we'll do this, okay? Good luck to you. Remember, 2-point perspective, 2 vanishing points. Good luck.